What do you say, everybody? It's time for Wild Pitches, your favorite Smokies podcast. Aris and Mick with you here. Let's get this party started. Let's talk some Smokies baseball. Aris Theophanopoulos. Say that like 3 times fast. Well, I'm sure you could do that.
I could do it. I've done it a couple of times.
But I would be like, Theophanopoulos. I'd get tripped up somewhere.
Welcome back to Smokies Stadium.
I know, I'm home, man. With this, I got this back in the mail. They lost my diamonds in the bottom, or they just didn't come in there, but it's back. Boom! This thing's beautiful, man.
Fresh.
Well, you remember when the diamonds were missing?
It was a big spiel. Yeah,
I think you can't have, you can't have the 2 missing diamonds. Probably for those two, the 2009 and 2010 Southern League championships that we blew. I just talked to Cade Horton, and he goes, "Man, I didn't know that we were called the Chokies."
Right.
Like, yeah, we were the Chokies. Not anymore.
Thanks to him.
Thanks to him, I know.
Quite the cavalcade of characters, and all of them, for the majority, are back here at Smokies Stadium.
Yeah, and well, that's cool too. That was what I was going to go into right away. Is that this team, at the beginning of the season, MLB Pipeline put out a list of the most talented minor league teams, and we were second. Number 1 was Norfolk, which is in Baltimore system, and they had Jackson Holiday, who got called up. So now all of a sudden that takes him out of the mix, and here we are. Right, we had Cole Franklin, who went to AAA, and unfortunately had a awful looking arm injury in his first start. Yeah, so
that's tough to say, because he had 1 start here, 4 innings, no hit ball, did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Got called up, and what happened to his arm?
He was on the mound. He threw a pitch, and he just went down. And like when you see people grab their elbow area, after they throw a pitch, and they're like holding like that, it's bad news. Normally, it's Tommy John or something. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I've been around the game for a long time. I hope I'm wrong. But he was one of those guys who I thought had a really good chance to get to the major leagues this year, probably out of the bullpen, even though he was a starter. So that hurts the organization. Here, though, we've still got, a boatload of talent, right? I mean, Cade Horton, the Cubs' best pitching prospect in my mind since the Pryor and Wood days.
Wow.
Right?
That's really saying something.
Yeah, I mean, and he's not, he's not throwing as hard as those guys, but he's got the Wood slider, right? Maybe even better at this point than Kerry had in his career. He pitches. He's a really nice guy, but when he pitches, it's like he's kind of like
he's mean.
He's a mean guy, which you want, right? You want somebody that's going to back people off the plate, work inside, and then he's got the curveball, but he's been paying some attention here to the changeup, which is what they want him to do. Because when he gets to the big leagues, you don't want to ever see him down here again.
Funny story about Cade Horton. So he started the game here on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. And my intern, Joe Rocos, he went down to the gas station right down the street.
Joe Rogan?
From the ballpark. Joe Rocos, not Joe Rogan. Okay. If Joe Rogan was my intern, then he's taking a turn for the worse. So Joe went down to the gas station here close to the ballpark, and he saw a couple of the Montgomery players down there, grabbing some like energy drinks and whatnot. And Joe's just wearing like a regular hoodie, not affiliated with the Smokies or Cubs or anyway. And he recognizes a couple of the players, and he says, "Hey, tough game last night." And the one dude told him, "Yeah, that starting pitcher shoves." Talking about Cade Horton, So they thought, they're trying to have some camaraderie with Joe down there. In reality, he works for us and everything like that. So that's the truth. So Cade Horton shoves, and, they got the dub on Tuesday and won last night as well.
Yeah, 2 in a row. A lot of baseball left to be played, and we're in the middle of a homestand now. So good weather today. Good to be back at Smokies Stadium. What do we have cooking? Besides hot dogs and pizzas and stuff,
but
promotional.
Wow.
Promotional.
This Saturday is our Smokies version night, which is a play on Taylor Swift and her, Eras tour and the whole Swiftie phenomenon. Have you ever caught on to the Taylor Swift spiel?
No, Richie Giuliano is a big Taylor Swift fan. I mean, he like camps out for tickets and
no, he doesn't.
He dresses, as a Swiftie. And but he's talked to me about some of the stuff that goes along with the whole Taylor Swift thing. I still haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah, tomorrow night her new album drops, and that's
what
like
Richie was saying.
Boy, then he's in the know.
Yeah,
he's in the know. The album's called like a Dead Poet Society or something on the lines of that. And the people that are in love with Taylor Swift really, really care about Taylor Swift.
Right.
So they're going to be having parties and listening to the whole album and stuff, like having the whole dedicated tomorrow for Friday, but then that's why we're celebrating on Saturday here at the ballpark.
Yeah, and that's that was one of the things that I heard about from Richie was just that he was going to have to work and not be part of the record drop.
No, he didn't. You're making this up, dude. What are you talking about?
I'm serious. If you don't know his love for Taylor Swift, you haven't been around him.
Does he just think that he's really cute? She's really cute?
No, he's just like he's into the music, Like what was that one song that he liked so much about the castles falling or whatever? I don't know. Like I'm just a guy that just tries to broadcast games with him and be around them. And
then there he is just talking about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, huh?
Yeah. Well, yesterday he looked at me and he said, "Did you know that Jason Kelce lost his championship ring in a bite of chili?" And I was like, "No, I didn't know that. Like, why would he put his championship ring in chili? Because it was like a competition." And I'm like, it's so hard to get these. Like, maybe use like a fake one or something. Like, do you really do that?
I'm an Eagles fan. I did read that. And I'm like, wow, he's an absolute idiot for doing that. That being said, I watched the documentary about him and like his life and if he was going to come back to play another season and all. And in there's probably like there's 2 minutes in the documentary where he's like, I don't even know where my Super Bowl ring is right now. And he's looking around his house trying to find it and everything like that. And then he eventually does find it. But it seems as if the actual physical ring doesn't mean a lot to him, more of like the journey to it.
Yeah, well, he should journey to Jostens or whoever made that ring and buy a replacement. The funny thing is I've never met him. I did meet Travis Kelce.
Oh, yeah, where at?
In spring training. One night I hung out with Rick Sutcliffe, the Cubs, legendary pitcher. And he was hanging out with Kelce. Kelce and his entourage came, and we all had beers at Dierks Bentley's bar, and it was fun, man. Right before COVID, like right when everything was shutting down for COVID in Arizona. That was like the last thing I did before I headed back home to try to find toilet paper.
Thank God that's over with.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of neat. Look at you.
Yeah, it was cool. He's a nice guy. And there we had a employee here I really liked. Her name was Allie. And she ended up marrying our one of our coaches who's in the big leagues now, Ben Carhart, who's an awesome guy. And I was friends with him too, like really like both of them. Well, fantasy football, and you might not know this, but the fantasy football league in the office is really competitive. And she had like you don't know that. I
was just letting you talk, dude.
Yeah, she had Kelce. And I was trying to get Kelce. I had the best team in the league, but I needed a tight end, and she wouldn't trade him to me. She didn't work here anymore, but I was like, make a trade. She wouldn't trade with me. And I ended up losing by 2 points or 1.5 points in the playoffs. And
so you blame her.
I told him, I was like, you got to take a picture with me so I can send to her because, I tried to get you on my fantasy team. So then when I won it last year, 2 years ago,
yeah, now it's in the past
Kittle.
now, Mick.
I had Kittle, which is another great tight end. And he was the other great tight end that particular season too.
Right,
so.
right.
But I tried to trade for Kelce again, and Chris Allen, the team president, wouldn't trade him to me. And it turned out to be the reason I won because Kittle got real hot, Brock Purdy throwing him passes. But, back to Kelce, he was just a really cool dude. And I like him. I mean, I know like once you start dating Taylor Swift, your popularity obviously changes. But he seemed like a really cool guy to me.
How do you think the dynamic works, man? Like, because Taylor Swift is more popular and people know her more than Travis Kelce, you know? And of course, his whole life, people know Travis Kelce's, oh my gosh, he's so great. Now he's second banana to that chick.
Yeah, I mean, this is like our Marilyn Monroe, Joe DiMaggio relationship.
Wow.
I mean, think about it.
Yeah, I
mean,
so.
Like Kelce's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's the best tight end in the game right now and arguably the best ever. And then Taylor Swift is the biggest music star in the country, right? I mean, started out in country music and then went to pop, and she's dominated both.
All right.
And she's, her tickets are sought after.
And the whole Ticketmaster debacle and crashing and all that other stuff, all thanks to her, right?
And in this day and age where you really don't have that many standout artists, and it's just because of the way that the music industry is, not a lot of people write their own songs and then perform them and then, kind of are as creative. I mean, there's some, and then have like basically been embraced by the public. And Marilyn Monroe wasn't really a singer. She was more of an actress and a sex symbol, right? And then with Taylor Swift, I don't really see her like that. I just think that she's just kind of like the biggest artist of our time. But I think there's a parallel there for sure.
What about, wasn't J-Lo married to like A-Rod at one point? Or Derek Jeter or something like that?
Yeah, I think A-Rod. But the problem is A-Rod also was a cheater in baseball with the steroids.
Tell us how you really feel.
Well, he was. I mean, and he got suspended and for an entire year because of it. And he doesn't have, it's not the same to me, now she was popular, but J-Lo's never been as popular as Taylor Swift. I mean, she's, like, I don't know. I mean, Taylor Swift's on a level of her own. So J-Lo's up there, but there's really, who is in the same conversation right now, current artists, as Taylor Swift?
It's hard to say.
Right.
Nobody, I guess. I feel like Taylor Swift came out as the same time as, like Lady Gaga and Kesha, but they're all gone now. Like they don't do their thing. That's what I'm saying, right? So she has that longevity. She's going on album 11 or whatever it is now.
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, like to me, not quite to the Prince and Michael Jackson comparisons yet, but certainly could get there for Taylor Swift.
The Mount Rushmore. Huh?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that it couldn't happen. She's not at Elvis status, which is the greatest of all time. I mean, and still the dude's still popular and he's been dead since 78. Right. So, but I mean, when you're even kind of compared to those guys, it's like, hey, she's not Elvis. She's not Prince. She's not Michael Jackson, but I think she still has the potential to pass maybe like Prince and possibly get to the Michael Jackson status, but she would have to still continue to put out big albums.
Right. And I feel like that she, especially with social media and everything works now, like people are just going to be so glued and it's so so easy for them to follow with her and stuff that even when she gets older and, her voice starts to fade or whatever, people are still going to buy her albums and love her,
I didn't like the cutaways to her in the box when the Ravens and the Chiefs were playing. I got tired of it. Yeah. But, for the NFL, it made for great theater. The Super Bowl this year went into overtime and her guy won. And I mean, like it was a storybook ending, and the conspiracists that think that the NFL's
the script,
it's fixed, right? There's your fix.
Exhibit A, B, C, D, like, how else could you really describe it? Yeah. My God. Kermit the Frog gets to hoist the trophy again.
Yeah.
Yikes. So what else is up, dude? Enough talking about Taylor Swift.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm excited about this homestand. I thought that the first homestand went great. Nice job putting the video together, the championship video. And if you guys didn't get a chance to watch that yet, make sure you go back and watch it. It's the story of our team from last year. And it really does tell a story, when you sent me the final cut of it, I was like, man, like this is 45 years in the making, and you piece together all of this stuff that you use to like tell the tale of last year, which had so many twists and turns, and eventually it turned into a championship. A nice job.
Yeah, you can watch that on our YouTube page as well as on smokiesbaseball.com. Right on the homepage, you can click on that nice little thumbnail with the team hoisting the trophy. And, something that a lot of people don't know about that we got to share in the video is Cheddar Bob.
Yeah, I saw him yesterday. He's not the bat boy, but they could certainly use him, right? He still has to do his regular job here, but maybe if playoff time comes next year, we can always slide him back in, right? What a cool guy though, man. Like I think that like when I wrote the script for it, I was like, you can't do this without including Cheddar Bob. And then when you kind of got it, you were probably like, I got to check this guy out. And then you got a chance to hang out with him.
Right. I never really talked to him other than like, hey, dude, what's up? How you doing? Just, typical little stuff that where you're walking by. And then I actually sat him down and have a conversation with him. I'm like, okay, now I get why the players love this dude.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a bad bone in this guy's body. No. He's just out there having a good old time. And my gosh, I can only imagine that, I'm like BJ Murray or Blake Whitney, I'm down there and here comes, Cheddar Bob running out there to grab the bat or to give you a fist bump as you go back into the dugout. Like, oh my God, it's hilarious, man. It gives you some positivity in your life. And it's like, no wonder they were undefeated in the playoffs.
Yeah. When he does something, he goes all in. Right, like you got the whole outfit, right?
Yeah.
The cleats, the eye black, the batting gloves, right? I mean, you're going all in.
He's got that helmet and the gloves on and everything like that. It's like, dude, this guy gets it.
Yeah. He's just such a part of what we do here, And I got to say this too, kind of along the same lines. And I don't think we've talked about this because we haven't done a show here since the season started.
Right.
But I miss Don Zamia a lot. I really do. Like he was our elevator guy since the time that I got here. Huge fan of our broadcast. He would come up into the booth every day and he'd get to work early. He'd wipe down all of his seats. He'd do all the stuff that he'd have to do so that he could come up here and hang out with us.
You feel like you got a void up here now?
I really do. I mean, like I walk in and I miss that face. I miss that smiling face. I miss hearing him say, young man, and and all of the little things that he would do for us. He would bring us food. He would, tell everyone about how great the broadcast was. He was such an advocate for the Smokies, and 84 years young. He would say, tell us how old he was, and you'd be like, no way, but I can't express it enough. Like, I really miss him. Like, I really feel like there is definitely something missing. And I'll sit here and I'll think, like, what is it? And then, like you forgot your keys or you can't find your wallet. And then you're like, it's Don. I miss Don. Like, I'm so used to this particular time of the day.
Right.
Sometimes I'd have to, do work and have to kind of chase him out of the booth because you'd be like, hey, go out there. I got to do this real quick. Because he'd want to talk to you the whole time. But
got to get some stuff done.
I would, man, I would love to have him here just so I could not chase him out, like have him back in and listen to one of his stories. But
you don't know what you got till it's gone. So cliche, right?
Yeah. And I mean, life is, even at 84, life is short. But he's beloved by the people like me that got to know him and appreciated him. But it really has been, like, I'm telling you, like, I walk in here and I'm like, man, I really feel that.
Mm-hmm.
I know he called you Harris a lot, so
it's good for me.
He
man.
liked you anyway.
Whatever he wanted to do, dude. I'm chill. Have at it.
Well, you didn't cut. Your area is like like 2 stops down from me in the press box, and your area isn't as inviting. You got a lot more equipment in there. It's a squeezed space. You guys are normally trying to do something, that's like you also have a lot more people, so it's more intimidating.
Yeah, it's big and scary over there, loud noises, and ugly looking people and all of that. You have such a inviting, quiet, small little space where you can share it with somebody, hold hands, listen to Taylor Swift. That's why you and Richie do such a great job in that little booth.
We have fun, man. We have fun. We've had a good time. He's great. We got our media guide coming out, and that is something that is in a PDF, and anybody can have it. Mm-hmm. Anybody can have the media guide. We just have to touch up a couple things, but it's basically ready to go. And, we need to get that on the website for everyone. But, yeah, that's been a project. Howie Boxley worked on that. He's our media intern this year, a broadcast intern. He's done a fine job. And then Richie being back's been a lot of fun. So it's I love coming to work here. I mean, sometimes getting here and leaving, and now that, there's a lot of other things going on outside of Smokies in my career that it's like, it can be challenging to kind of get here and do this. But, but when I do get here, it just feels like home to me. Like it just does. Like I love this place.
Love it, man. Love to hear it. I love it too. Some days more than others, but for the majority of the time, yeah, absolutely love it. So
I love seeing our fans too. We got great fans. Like even cold nights like this last night where, school's still in, you're not going to have your big crowds, but man, they make so much noise. They're so passionate about our team. I love it when they get on the umpires.
That's the best.
Yeah. Like you
got Lisa down there, Lisa and Lee. And those are two young ladies that are very passionate about the game. Every time that one of our players was in the on deck circle, all right, Pablo, you got this, you can do it. I remember last year when I would go down and like Nelson Maldonado, when he was coming up to bat, Lisa would be like, let's go, Nelson. Like she had like the Nelson Maldonado call for him and everything like that. So it's those type of things that make Smokies Stadium unique and what it is different than other ballparks and teams.
It is, man. And it's the last year. So you guys better come out here and enjoy it, because next year we're going to be pushing our new ballpark, which will be amazing as well. But it's not like we're running from a dump. I mean, this place is still cool. It's still good. And it's still fun to be at and watch games.
This is our best year ever. This is definitely going to be our best year ever when it comes to all of our theme nights and our giveaways and our promotions. We have a fully stacked lineup here where there's something going on almost every day at the ballpark this season. And that is just, the cream on the top compared to all the great players that we have here at the ballpark where you actually get to watch the baseball game.
Yeah. Look, I got my my pennant. And I got my first signature on the championship pennant. And I was talking to Cade Horton about it. And I said, hey, I want you to sign this. I want to get all of you guys to sign it. And I said, I think this is one of the coolest, if not the coolest giveaway and I told you this, but he said the same thing. The fact that you and I know for some players that were in the game, but weren't on there, hey, look, like a Blake Whitney, who's a big part of the team and a reliever, but he wasn't in the starting lineup, right? You couldn't put the whole team on there probably, but just to have that starting lineup there with Cade Horton at the end, their pictures under the championship logo, I just love it, man. Like absolutely love that thing.
Hey, I'd love to do another one this season.
Yeah,
so, that would be great.
We'll see. I mean, let's wait 45 years. I mean, could we possibly repeat? I think that it could happen, but.
You don't want to get ahead of yourself, but you're really excited about it. I know you are.
Well, I mean, I'm what I was going to say is that, the chances are slim, I mean, we haven't had a repeat championship team since the Montgomery Biscuits did it in 06 and 07. And, so for them, and they beat the same team. I think they beat Huntsville twice, both years. I think. Anyway, it's tough to do. And one of the reasons is that your roster changes so much. And we're talking to you guys in April. Well, in April, the roster is pretty close to what that lineup was. I mean, we're missing, obviously Owen Casey, who went to AAA, and BJ Murray. But the rest of those guys, and then Andy Weber got taken in the Rule 5 draft.
But everybody else.
Yeah, but everybody else, which means I got to sneak down there and ask the guys that are on there to sign that pennant.
Better get moving, yeah.
It's still cool, though, man. So what do we have coming up? Anything good? this homestand and maybe next homestand?
Hey, we got the Taylor Swift night on Saturday, and then Sunday we have our annual touch truck at the ballpark. Those that are, young at heart and young physically, come on out, hop in the cabs of your favorite mega machines here. So you get to blow the whistles and sound the horns and all of your favorite trucks. It's a very unique opportunity. Gates open up early at 12. So come on down for that 2:00 game, of course. And then next month, which will be our next homestand starting April 30th through May 5th, we got a huge lineup of theme nights and whatnot. We're going to do our Star Wars night on May 4th. Specialty jerseys, our first specialty jersey of the entire season. Did you check those out online?
Who's on those?
It's Ahsoka, the newest character.
Okay.
So definitely that was something that was well received online by our fan base there. We're going to be the first minor league team to have Ahsoka on jersey. So proud to do it on May 4th. We haven't had a game at home on May 4th since 2019. So it's always great to have that play on words. May the 4th be with you. And then, coupled with that, the next day is Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, I love Cinco de Mayo.
So we're going to have plenty of fun Latin music played here at the ballpark. We're going to play Loteria. You familiar with that?
No, but I may need some margaritas in the booth.
Well, that seems like something that could be taken advantage of and served up by our friend Cheddar Bob.
Yeah, Cheddar. So tell me what did you call it? Loterita?
Loteria.
Loteria.
Yeah. You got to say it,
Loteria.
There you go. Kind of. It's a very popular game, easy game that is kind of known as like Mexican bingo. So basically you're given a bingo card, and rather than it having B3, I12, whatever it is, there's different images on there, so it could be like a hat. It could be a chili pepper. It could be a bucket, whatever it may be, right? And it says obviously what that is in Spanish, en español, but we're going to do a play on it where we're going to have some of the classic Loteria cards on there, but also some baseball terms as well, so you can have El Goro, like the helmet in baseball. So it's going to be mixed on there. All of our fans are going to get a free card, and we're going to give away some prizes during the game. So it's kind of fun. Obviously, we're going to have some piñatas at the ballpark, and we're going to dress it up. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a day game, Cinco de Mayo this year.
Is
2:00 game. Yep. Absolutely.
So it's a Sunday.
It's a Sunday, dude. Yep.
Nice.
So you have great lineup for margaritas after the game.
There you go.
So,
well, that's cool, man. Yeah, I love that idea. Okay. Well, it was fun hanging out. How about the final thing is how's your staff? How's your thing going over in the production room?
So far, all of my interns are still here. None of them have quit. So I haven't run them off just yet. Granted, we're only 6 games in, so we'll see how they do through the gauntlet of that. As far as my game day staff, they're doing a fantastic job based on what the schedule has dealt them so far. And I keep telling them that things are going to get bigger and better. Sure, we have some good fans here at the ballpark, but once school is out and the sun comes out, that's when the fans come out. And it's going to be very common to have 6,000 people here. And that's when the lights are shining on them.
Yeah, I can't wait. You got that. And then that first series in June. I mean, you're talking about a huge series with Elvis and Grateful Dead night.
Yeah, buddy.
All that's coming fast. But anyway, we'll see you guys out at the ballpark. Come and hang out with us and go Smokies. Show you guys that right there. One more time.